Is it possible to have a guitar that perfectly blends tradition and vintage aesthetic alongside of modern playability and construction techniques? If there was ever one to get as close as possible, it might be this, the PRS DGT. What's up, everyone? My name is Matthew Dale, and I am here to help you play better, sound great, and understand more. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at my PRS DGT. So here is a brief history on how the DGT came into being. This guitar is a result of a long-standing relationship between David Grissom and Paul Reed Smith, obviously the owner of PRS guitars. And this guitar in particular actually started life as the PRS McCarty model, which was a result of another relationship between Ted McCarty of Gibson and Paul Reed Smith. But the McCarty didn't feature a tremolo bridge unit. And David Grissom, who was playing McCartys for quite some time, kept special ordering McCarty models to be fitted with a tremolo unit. And of course, after a while, Paul Reed Smith finally said, you know what, why don't we just make this your own production artist model guitar? Hence the term DGT, or David Grissom Trim. Now, taking a look at this guitar from the top down, we have the Phase 3 locking tuners up here with faux bone buttons, which I think look really nice. We've also got a bone nut, rosewood fingerboard. We've got what I think are really nice tall frets. These are a medium jumbo. They feel kind of like the Fender medium jumbo on here, which I really like the feel of. A kind of hidden feature of this guitar would be the moon inlays. So on the inlays, there's a little bit of a crescent moon. I'll show you a close-up of that. We've got a really nice flame maple top on this guitar in particular. This is not a tin top, this is just a regular production model, but I think the flame looks really nice on this one. The DGT special design pickups, the Gen 3 tremolo bridge with the pop-in arm, and we've got a volume master tone with a push-pull, and your pickup selector switch. And then on the back, of course, we have mahogany body, mahogany neck, and 5 springs in the tremolo unit here, and that's also brass on there if you can see that. Now, aside from just the general specs of this guitar, this is going to be a little more of a player's review, my ownership experience of this guitar, why I bought it, how I use it, and stuff like that. This is actually my second core PRS. I bought this guitar as a second for my McCarty 594. Now, when I bought this guitar, I didn't just want to get another 594 and swap those. I did want something a little bit different, something with a trem arm and something that had a couple of unique features to it, but that also didn't detract too much from the 594 in essence, so that way all my presets and sounds and the general feel of the guitar were pretty similar. This does have a slightly longer scale length than my 594, which is of course 24.594 inches. This is the standard PRS 25 inches, but it's not too different for me to swap back and forth. In comparison to my 594, the DGT pickups are just a little bit hotter, and they have this really wonderful mid-range that comes out when you throw some drive into it. I'm going to keep this clean for right now and just play a couple of open chords. This is the neck pickup. Here is the middle position. That's really nice and clear there. Here's the bridge position. And the bridge, although maybe a bridge humbucker played clean isn't necessarily the most popular sound, but I think on this guitar, it sounds really good. Now, this guitar also features a coil split. This is a master coil split for both pickups. So you only get one, and let's go back through. Here's the neck pickup. Real jangly, here's both. And now here is the bridge. I think the bridge sounds really good split. More often than not, though, I don't find that I'm going into split humbucker territory very often. The DGT pickups do what I want them to do right out of the box without splitting them. Every so often, I'll use something split, but I'd rather probably just set up to use the humbuckers 90% of the time. And that's something that I really like about a relatively low wind humbucking pickup, is they still retain a lot of the same or similar brightness to a single coil. Let's go ahead and just talk about the tremolo here for a second. I like that the arm is just kind of this pop-in sleeve sort of design. You can adjust the tension on this, which is really good. So I've got it set up where no matter where I put it, it holds its position really well. And because I'm not usually dive bombing or doing a lot of tremolo stuff, I usually keep it back here out of my way, and then I'll go grab it when I want to do a little bit of subtle vibrato like that. I also recently changed strings on this a couple of days ago, and when I did that, I added a little bit of nut sauce, nut lubrication. That seems to help this style of a non-locking tremolo. And as far as a non-locking tremolo is concerned, these are really good. I'm still surprised that PRS is using the 6-screw sort of vintage way, but it really works just as good, if not better, than my older Fender American Deluxe 2-point system. So here's a couple of chords. Really good for that subtle sort of almost Bigsby-like style of tremolo. You can dive bomb-ish with it, but remember, there's 5 springs in the back, so if you go down to like 3 springs, maybe 2 springs, if you want some real flexibility there, you could try that. Here's a dive bomb. Here's a G chord, and let's just go ahead and drop it all the way down and just see how it does. And back up, and really not too bad. There's a couple of notes that are a little bit out of tune there, but not too bad. So I went ahead and I just got it back in tune, in perfect tuning there. It was a little bit out. This is not something that you would be dive bombing with all the time. If you're going to be doing that, you're probably going to be looking for a different guitar, maybe with a different trem unit, or Floyd Rose style, something that locks in both directions. But as far as the subtle uses of vibrato, this is great. It's really smooth. And that's what I'm using it for, 99% of the time. Neck shape itself is a little bit chunkier, not like a vintage Fender baseball bat chunky, but probably like a 58, 59 Gibson style neck. It feels very similar to the pattern vintage on my PRS 594. It also feels pretty similar, maybe a little bit thinner than my Collings 290, which allegedly has a 59 Les Paul neck. I believe that the neck shape itself was taken directly from a vintage 335 that David Grissom loved the feel of. So this is really kind of like the Goldilocks zone for me. It's not too big and bulky, and it's not too thin and frail feeling. And I think that's really the ethos of this guitar. It is a versatile guitar. It's not the most versatile guitar where you don't have the individual coil splits and, a 5-way to do, some electric wizardry here. But every sound that you can coax out of this guitar is a very usable, very good tone. Here's the neck pickup. Middle. Bridge. Bridge split. Split middle. Split neck. And one thing to note about the control layout here, this is a volume for the bridge and then volume for the neck. Those are flipped. And then, of course, our master tone with our push-pull coil split. They're arranged in such a way because David Grissom apparently is on the bridge pickup 90% of the time. So he wants that to be a lot closer to his pinky to adjust the volume on the pickup that he's on most of the time. One other thing to note about the volume controls, we have a treble bleed circuit on each of the controls. So I got a bit of crunch. Roll it down. Down a little bit further. And then back up. So it still retains that brightness there. Now, this is a lot of people's favorite guitar in the PRS lineup. And I gotta say, I really see why. This is probably one of the most comfortable and most right-feeling guitars that I've played, including my 594, which is also up there. I kind of teeter back and forth. I've played Strats. I've played Tellys. I have a Collings 290. I have a ES335 from the early 80s. I've got a PRS 594, a Strandberg Bowden. I've owned SGs, a Gibson ES175. So I put my hand on certainly not every single guitar out there, but a lot of different guitars. And I would probably give this guitar the edge between the fretwork, the style of frets. It's got a little bit of a thinner body than the 594, but a little bit thicker than the Custom 24. Everything about it is just Goldilocks. And I would probably, although my 594 is a definite close runner-up when it comes to which one I prefer playing, I might actually give this one the edge. That being said, any guitar is going to have its compromises. It's not a perfect guitar. I really wish that PRS would do some stainless steel frets on a couple models. This is a feature that a lot of players, including myself, really want PRS to do. And in the words of Joe Dirt,
it's not what you like. It's the consumer.
It would be really nice to see a stainless steel fret option here. And in keeping with the vintage ethos of this guitar, it has a nitrous cellulose finish, which feels great, smells amazing when you keep it in the case for a while, and really gives this guitar a beautiful finish. My 594, which is a wood library, has an incredible top, and it's got the much harder V12 finish, but there's something almost iridescent about this finish because of the nitrocellulose. I love the McCarty Sunburst finish on this as well. I think this is probably the best looking guitar ever. But that being said, the nitrocellulose will scratch over time. I got one there. I got one somewhere else down here. I'm starting to get some of the buckle rash, although it's hard to see on camera. I'm starting to get some of the buckle rash on back, so it's going to relic a lot faster than other guitars. So that is a brief look at the PRS DGT, an incredible machine, one of my favorite guitars that's out there right now. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you really like this video, go ahead and consider subscribing to the channel for more stuff like this. While you're at it, if you would like a much clearer and much simpler approach to music theory, then go ahead and download my Essential Music Theory Guide. You will find the link in the description box below, and a better understanding of music theory is just one click away. My name is Matthew Dale. Play better, sound great, and understand more, and I'll see you guys in the next video.